McCarthy and Brendan Macken, seen a pretty impressive performance from Leinster, it has to be said. I've just been downstairs speaking to Leo Cullen and Rhys Ruddock as well. They're trying to put on the act that, it was a good win. There's a hell of a lot to improve on, but that second half was particularly impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, the whole performance was incredible from the start. James Lowe try, I think, after a couple of minutes, the perfect start away from home. And, to come away to Franklin's Gardens and score 7 tries against Premiership leaders, is incredible. And they did it a few weeks ago against Lyon, who were top of the table. So, fantastic performance. But it's, for me, the defence is just absolutely incredible. As we were saying, they've always got, lots of numbers in the line. They get off the line, they make really good impact tackles and drive Northampton back, and just frustrated them all day. And Northampton did look frustrated. They looked suffocated, and they just didn't have an answer to the power that Leinster brought to the game. And the question is, can they back it up now after 2013, where Leinster won here pretty convincingly and then lost the week after at the Aviva? But I can't see Northampton going to the Aviva now and beating them. Yeah,
like on the defence, like Mike was saying there, I was speaking to Chris Boyd, the director of rugby downstairs there, and he was saying that they went through so many phases where they looked comfortable in possession, but they just couldn't make any impact and get through Leinster at any point.
Absolutely, yeah. I just think Leinster's defence was so unbelievably organised. Everyone knows what they're doing. I know it's the old cliche, but it does look like they have an extra.
That's James Treacy, yeah, just down there for the record.
Gary.
But anyway, back to that impressive Leinster defence, yeah?
Yeah, so they're so well organised, and I think Northampton literally threw the kitchen sink at them a couple of times, and it was just like it was like a tennis ball bouncing off a Sherman tank. It was like it's not going to do anything. So I just think Leinster were just too strong today.
Was the 5-minute spell either side of half time just the turning of the game? Because Leinster were behind at that point. They scored 3 tries in a 10-minute spell either side of the break, and all of a sudden they go from being 4 or 5 points down to 14-15 in front.
Yeah, I think Leinster left a few tries out there, to be honest. I know they scored 7, but they left a few out there. And for me, I mentioned it during the game, was the impact of the bench. I mean, the bench, when you look through the list on the bench, you got Scott Fardy, who played in the World Cup final in 2015, you got Rob Kearney coming on, Tyke Furlong coming on, and when you've got those guys coming on, the experience they bring, the physicality they bring, it's very tough. And you can't really see past anyone beating Leinster in the Champions Cup, to be honest, after that performance.
It does make you wonder as well, Brendan. I mean, when you see so many of those players that were playing for Ireland in the World Cup and how they looked like they were just enjoying their rugby so much out there at times today, how Japan actually happened.
Yeah, I know. But sure, you saw today, Northampton would kick off, and then Leinster would string 3, 4, 5, 6 phases, have a crack, and then maybe get rid of the ball. Whereas in Ireland, under different tactics that were employed by the powers that be, it was like they weren't allowed to play. It was like they weren't allowed to express themselves. You saw Larmour express himself today. James Ryan, Dev, your pal Dev Toner.
My favourite player.
Your favourite person.
Yeah, he still hasn't scored in Europe though. So he's 239 games for Leinster, but he has never scored in Europe. So he needs to score next week.
But like you said, it just looked like they genuinely were enjoying themselves. They were enjoying throwing it around. Robbie Henshaw was getting to use his pass, use his footwork instead of just running into brick walls, and it looked like they were genuinely having fun.
And it leaves them in an incredible position now to get a home quarter final and to pretty much write their own destiny for the remainder of the tournament.
Yeah, I just touched on it before, but it's just about turning the page very quickly, as I know Leo and Stuart will do when they review the game on Monday, and looking back to 2013, taking some key learnings from it, because a week in professional sport's a long time, and obviously Saints are wounded, they're hurting, they'll have a tough review on Monday, and they'll come out and bring an extra bit of edge that perhaps we didn't see from them today. I think, but Leinster in a great position. I don't know what areas they have to work on, to be honest, because they look unbelievably good on both sides, attack and defence.
And Brendan, we got a small chance to talk about it during commentary, but your own situation at London Irish at the moment, you're obviously out at the moment. People can see there's a pretty big sling there. Got a bad shoulder injury, went for surgery recently, did you?
Yeah, got injured against the Scarlets a couple of weeks ago in the Challenge Cup. And then I had a procedure done Thursday 2 weeks ago. So I'll be looking at maybe 3 to 4 months in the sidelines. Hopefully 3, not 4. Fingers crossed.
How have things been going at London Irish? So there was obviously an influx of an enormous amount of talent, and some pretty outstanding talent has come through the gates in the last few months there as well. What's it been like just seeing how things have changed from a championship side 12 months ago?
Yeah, it's been great, to be honest. It's been really good, and the long pre-season with the World Cup's been really good. Everyone kind of, like we can bed what we're trying to do in that period, and then the guys who were away in the World Cup, have been drift fed back in, and Waisaki Naholo, he's coming. He looks pretty lethal, to be honest. And you got Adam Coleman who's come, and Nick Phipps as well. Obviously Paddy's doing brilliantly for us, and it's fantastic. And Shawnee, who's still as mad as ever. But yeah, he's settling in well, so all's good. And
is the goal ultimately survival this year, or with the level of players that have come in, does the goal have to be a little bit more than that?
Yeah, obviously it's survival. When the team from the Championship's coming up to the Premiership, that's obviously to stay up. But I think with the calibre of player we have in the squad, there's a tremendous opportunity there for us, and hopefully we'll be able to take that.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a million for joining us, and safe trip back home. It's been a wild ride this afternoon, but that's it from Franklin's Gardens.
Squeeze!
Brendan Macken. Thanks very much. Cheers.